Welcome to the Brown County Hour.
Coming to you from the legendary Hills of Brown,
where the plum purple haze,
the one nature herself drapes over the hills and hollers,
inspires local characters, artists, and nature lovers.
It's as though the hills themselves conspire to create a beauty and culture in the heart of Indiana.
Sit for a spell and hear the music.
Tall tales,
true stories,
and current goings-on.
Brought to you by folks who still know how to sit by a fire in winter
and swim buck naked in summer. Welcome to episode 159 of the Brown County Hour. This is Dave Seastrom.
And Sarah Lytle, along with the rest of the crew. This month's musical guest is Sage Malaya. We have an interview with her and will be presenting a new song. Debbie Kelly shares some valuable information about local pollinators, and we also have essays from Jeff Tryon, Jim Eagleman, and Dave Seastrom.
Deb Bowden treats us to another humorous story. We'll also hear from J.C. Clements about the upcoming Farmette 2025, IU Health about Alpha-Gal, and Touch a Truck event with Debbie Kelly.
Our first segment begins with Hoosier Original Music Association founder J.C. Clements, as she tells us about the upcoming music industry conference coming to Nashville, which will feature regional artists playing in 7 venues, as well as music panel discussions. Last featured in September 2023, musician Sage Malaya joins us to share her newest song, Grow, as well as exciting news of graduating from her recording arts program and getting a music internship in Big Nashville. Brown County's pollinator lady, Debbie Kelly, says we are seeing drastic drops in the number of insects that pollinate our food crops. Loss of habitat is one reason. Listen in as she tells us what the local group, Brown County Pollinators, are doing about it.
This is Chuck Wills with the Brown County Hour, and we are talking about HUMAC, which is the Hoosier Original Music Association, and their upcoming event in Brown County on June 21st called Farmette. And here to tell us more about it is their founder and president, J.C. Clements. Welcome to the show, J.C.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it's great to have you. So you've got an event called Farmette.
Yes.
Okay, so this is a music conference.
It's a music industry conference and artist showcasing event.
Okay, so this is something for people that work at venues, maybe they're promoters, but it's also for musicians that are looking to, show off their latest songs.
Yes. So the best way to describe this is that it is a gathering of music industry professionals from across the region, and also for those people who are interested in playing in Indiana. So we have 7 private showcase spaces that are going to operate from 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. Every half hour in each of those 7 showcase spaces, there will be a different artist. Before that, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the Brown County Playhouse, that will be the industry panels and our keynote speaker and official showcase artist, which is Lydia Lovelace. So if you buy a pass for Farmette, you can attend a panel of luthiers and instrument experts who are going to talk to you about the construction and the build and care of your instruments, or you can attend a panel of live sound engineers and specialists. And then the keynote, of course, like I mentioned. Outside of those events that are going to be happening primarily at the Brown County Playhouse, there are the artist showcases. Artist showcases are going to be attended are people who run and operate festivals around the state, radio DJs, people who run events for counties and cities who are looking for artists to fill those spots in their songwriter series or in their main events for their stages. And venue owners and operators, house concert hosts, and then, of course, there's the artist, right? I believe we have a record label person coming, and 2 booking agency people are going to be there. It is Indiana's only music industry conference, but the big benefit for anyone who wants to attend from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m., there are the artist showcases, and there are over 50 artists that day who will be playing in 7 spots in Nashville. Artists are coming in from Canada, the New England area, Kentucky, Ohio, the Chicago area, Michigan, to play here in Nashville on that day.
So if I'm just a music fan
Mm-hmm.
listening to Brown County Hour,
Mm-hmm.
is there something that I can go to and hear different musicians that I've never heard of before?
That day is the day.
That day is the day. So
Yeah.
I can go to any of your 7 or 8 venues.
Yeah,
And
from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m.
okay.
Yeah, friends.
Okay. So the Brown County Playhouse is your headquarters, so to speak.
It's HQ.
HQ.
Yeah.
All right. And you've got a variety of venues around town. Where can our listeners go to learn more about those locations and what's going on?
HoosierOriginalMusic.com is the website, and you'll see the drop-down menu for Farmet, and then you'll be able to see the 7 showcase spaces that are all within walking distance, Brown County Playhouse, and hopefully soon you'll be able to see some of the showcasing artists that will be there as well.
What style of music can people expect to hear?
Folk, bluegrass, Americana, country, singer-songwriter, mostly, yeah.
Okay, so that fits right into the Brown County vibe.
Very much so. That's why this is every other year it
A
will be
perfect
here.
spot.
Next
Very
year
good.
it's in South Bend, and then back in Brown County, then it'll be in Richmond, back in Brown County.
So the Brown County Hour is actually a host at one of your music spaces.
That's true.
And we're going to have a collection of some of our favorite artists
Yeah.
that day. So
Yeah.
we encourage everybody to check out the website and check out all the musical spaces for that day. So, JC, tell us when it is.
It's June 21st here in Nashville. The day kicks off at the Playhouse for pass holders at 10 a.m. And official events like the panels and the keynote speaker and then the official showcase artist, that will end at 2 p.m. Then from 2 p.m. until 9 p.m. at spots around Nashville, there will be a new showcasing artist every half hour with a 1-hour break for dinner.
Fantastic. Well, JC, thanks for joining us. And everybody can find more information at HoosierOriginalMusic.com.
This is Lucy Schultz on WFHB Brown County Hour. I'm here with Sage Malaya. Hi, Sage. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh my gosh, it's so great to be talking with you again. In September 2023, episode 138, we interviewed you for the first time. You were still in high school. Tell us what you've been up to.
Oh man, I've been up to a lot. I graduated high school finally. After that, I ended up going to a program at the studio called Roundtable Recording Company. Went through their schooling, interned there, and that was really exciting because I kind of learned all the ins and outs of mixing, engineering, being an artist, songwriter. And now I'm on my way to getting ready for an internship. So that's pretty exciting.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I heard this internship is in Nashville, Tennessee.
Yes,
Oh
it
my
is.
goodness, you're gonna move.
We will be moving, yes.
Oh.
The big move. I feel like it's a big one.
Yeah, so that's coming up in a couple weeks, right?
Yes, about 3 weeks now.
Wow. Okay,
Crazy.
so when this airs, you will pretty much be on your way.
I will be on my way, yes.
Wow. So you're going to move down there, get a rent and all that?
Yes, I'm going to be renting out a space, an apartment, and it's going to be really exciting.
Now tell me what studio you're going to be internshipping.
I'm going to be interning at Blackbird Studio down there.
Holy cow. That's
Yeah.
like a famous studio. It really is.
Yeah, they seem really, really nice, and everyone there seems nice. I'm really excited for the opportunity to learn, so
Wow.
I couldn't really ask for any better for a move down there.
Great.
Yeah.
That's so great. Have you been working on any new music, Sage?
I have. I haven't exactly released anything yet, but I have been working on different songs recently, tracking them and kind of just to get in the booth and whatnot. And while none of it's officially released, I've been kind of showing a little bit of it on my Instagram and whatnot. So hopefully here sooner or later I'll get some out. But my main goal is mostly getting ready for this internship and getting ready for the move. So we'll kind of see how much I can get out before then.
Awesome. And I heard we'll be showcasing your new song, Grow.
Yes. Yeah, I did that one back in summer and I haven't really got to share it. So I'm hoping everyone who listens likes it.
Oh, it's beautiful. Well, I can't wait for the community to hear it.
Thank you. I'm excited for everyone to hear it too.
It's all you know. Scripted lines with a broken soul. See the leaves as they fall. Perspective change and you see it all. Driving home, windows fogged up from the smoke. Is this all we know? To ask, never receive, then we recite all that we see, but never grow. I'd do it all again for you, but I know the words fit when they're not true. Now we're running from the answer. We can't find a way around it, around it. Driving home, windows fogged up from the smoke. Is this all we know? To ask, never receive, then we recite all that we see, but never grow. When I do, the tears they freeze on my face. Get it all away from me.
Out of all the songs that we've featured on Brown County Hour, which one's your favorite and why?
Out of all the songs that you've featured, I would say the newest one, Grow, is probably my favorite. I think it really showcases, I guess the title gives it away, but how much I have grown in the past couple years since I last was on the show. I do love all the other songs I've done and all the other three that I did showcase, but this one, it's just newer. It's more me, I guess, now that I've grown a little bit and gotten older, and I'm just really excited to show it to people. So yeah, that'd probably be my favorite.
My favorite's Willow. I'm so sorry.
That's so fair, though.
I love it. It's like, it's always touched me like right here in my soul.
Aww. That one is a really, I was thinking about that one, but
yeah,
I'm just too excited for the other one. So
yeah. Oh my gosh, Grow is really a great song. Really a great song.
Thank you.
So how can we get a hold of you, Sage?
So my Instagram is Sage Malaya, SAIGEMALAYA, no spaces. And I do have a YouTube, same exact name. I haven't posted on that one in a while, but it's definitely there.
Yeah, all you youngins use the Instagram, right?
Yeah. No, I don't know if you'll see me on Facebook, but
yeah, probably not, right?
No.
Oh my gosh, with all the ads. Oh my goodness. All right, well, Brown County, we've been speaking with Sage Malaya. This is Lucy Schultz on WFHB Brown County Hour. See you later, Brown County.
Bye, Brown County.
Bye.
I'm Pam Rader with Brown County Hour. Our guest tonight is Debbie Kelly. Hi, Debbie. I'm so glad you came in.
Hi, Pam. Thanks for having me.
Yes. Well, you're known as the pollinator lady for all the plants you've given away in the past for pollinators in the county at various events. I read today that 75% of our crops rely on pollinators. You want to speak to that? That's big.
Absolutely. And that's our major food crops. In fact, 1 out of every 3 bites of our food is the result of a pollinator. We want everybody to be aware that we're almost in a catastrophic situation where if we lose these pollinators, our crop yield is going to go way down. There are going to be a lot of implications to that. Fruits, vegetables, and nuts, but also it includes chocolate, which is a favorite of mine, coffee. They need pollinators to be able to make those plants grow and to seed.
And are pollinators on steep decline nowadays?
Absolute steep decline. Butterflies in general at a catastrophic rate of decline. And I monitor monarchs specifically. And monarchs, and I raise them on my property. And we help. I started Brown County Pollinators with Donna Need-Nagel, and we go around restoring habitat because that's the one thing that we can control, that we can do that will make a difference. And most of this decline for our butterflies and also birds are declining, and that's because this ecosystem has been upset. So birds eat insects. And if insects are down, then they don't have food. And birds especially need, for their babies, they need caterpillars. They need soft. They can't give the baby birds seeds. So they need those caterpillars. And those caterpillars come from butterflies. So when you don't have butterflies, then it just evolves and rolls through the whole system. Now, if we lose 75% of our food crops because we don't have pollinators, then we're in big trouble. Now, some pollinators you may not realize, we know bees, and bees are decreasing 30%. Beekeepers are saying they have lost 30% of their colonies every year since 2006. That's horrible. And your bees are your primary pollinator, but there are lots of other pollinators too. Moths, most butterflies, some birds are pollinators. Bats are very important pollinators, and beetles.
So you and your partner are sponsoring some of that in June.
Yes. At St. David's Episcopal Church, we have a pollinator day camp, and I think this is the 4th year that they've had that day camp. It's June 24th through the 26th, and it starts at 2 p.m. And if you would like to attend that camp, you can call 812-272-9254 and leave a message. And that's Donna Need-Nagels. She is the one that leads that particular camp. I will be there, hopefully with monarchs. Now, the reason I like monarchs so much, and I'm sure everyone likes monarchs, they're beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful. All pollinators share that same habitat. So when you're building habitat for pollinators by adding milkweed, you're building that for monarchs, which that's the only plant they can lay eggs on. You're also building it for all of our other pollinators as well. So Brown County Pollinators has already restored over 300 acres in Brown County alone. And we're working on some acreage in other counties as well. But we try to have a goal of restoring about 100 acres a year. So if you'd like to sign up for that, go to browncountypollinators.com and you can fill out the contact form. And we have a couple of requirements to do that, but we'll come and plant that milkweed for you and take care of it.
Well, thank you for the work you're doing to save the planet. And thanks for coming in tonight. I've been speaking with Debbie Kelly on the Pollinator Project, and this is Pam Rader for the Brown County Hour.
Now we pause for station identification.
You are listening to the Brown County Hour on volunteer-powered community radio, WFHB, at 100.7 in Brown County, 91.3 and 98.1 in Bloomington, 106.3 in Ellettsville, and online at wfhb.org.
Support for WFHB comes from Our Brown County, a magazine for locals and visitors featuring art, entertainment, and county characters since 1995. Printed 6 times a year and available online. More information at ourbrowncounty.com.
Segment 2 begins with Jeff Tryon's thoughtful reflection about Nashville's restaurants. IU Health Nashville medical assistant health coach Brittany Lee and nurse practitioner Nina Kuhlman report on the symptoms and solutions for alpha-gal syndrome, which is on the rise in Brown County, and how to avoid getting it in the first place. Humorist Deb Bowden spins a tale of a Brown County June wedding and a wedding gift that was not appreciated. We'll close this portion of the show with Sage Malaya's song, Willow.
Check, please. The comedian Jerry Seinfeld has a great bit about eating out at restaurants called the check at the end of the meal system. Seinfeld says, money is a very different thing before you eat and after you eat. Before you eat, money has absolutely no value. You sit down at the table and you're like the ruler of an empire. More drinks, more appetizers. We must have everything immediately, the greatest meal of our lives. Then after you eat, first of all, when you're full, you can't remember ever having been hungry in your life. They give you the check and you're like, what is this? People are always mystified by the check, Seinfeld says. They start passing it around the table. Does this look right to you? We're not hungry now. Why are we buying all this food? Dining out at a restaurant is more than just a meal. It's an experience, a social grace, a special time with friends, family, comrades in arms. When you arrive, you're hungry and in an expansive mood. You've been thinking all day or all week about going out, being at this particular restaurant, having a good meal with friends. And you indulge yourself. You splurge a bit on your pretend diet. You eat like a pig. You have a good time. And about the time that you're starting to realize that you haven't saved room for dessert, a little something arrives at your table. A cheery little note from the establishment. The check. Now, I understand as much as anyone about inflation and the supply chain or the credit crunch or the 1,000,001 other problems that businesses face these days. Everywhere you go, be prepared for a little sticker shock. Everything you buy is a bit more expensive than it was just a few years ago. And that includes your meal out at the restaurant. The good news from the Brown County restaurant scene is that most of our eateries and beaneries seem to have somehow survived the COVID-19 pandemic, and there are even a couple of new restaurants sprouting up here and there. Everywhere I go, restaurants and bars seem crowded and doing well. Kind of seems like people are pent up, wanting to get out, get back to being social. We are lucky to have so many good restaurants available to us in our rural setting here in the Hills o' Brown. The less palatable news from the Brown County restaurant scene is simply this. You should expect to pay a little more for your meal out than you did just a few years ago. Be prepared for a restaurant check sticker shock. It can be sometimes, well, surprising. Recent forays into 2 new local restaurants produced a bill of about $60 for me dining alone at the Chop House and $125 for me and 3 companions at the Sycamore Saloon. The other day, I escorted Mrs. Sampler and our beautiful granddaughter down to the Nashville House. She had never dined there, and I dropped $90 plus another $33 for drinks while we waited for the table. Now, that doesn't seem outrageous by big city standards, so if you've been eating somewhere where it's really expensive to eat out, you will not be at all shocked, and more power to you. I also get a lot of $10 sandwich meals at the fast food window, so I figure it all evens out. Dinner out with a wife usually runs about $50. We recently stayed at a state park inn, she loves state park food, and spent about $130 for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But now, there's a fine line between keeping the restaurant thriving and just plain old gouging. During a recent local outing, I couldn't help notice that they were offering a cheeseburger for $18.99. That's 18 George Washington dollars and 99 Abe Lincoln cents. Might as well call it an Andrew Jackson. For a hamburger. Of course, if you want cheese on that burger, it's going to cost you a little extra, $1.50 to be exact. That must be some good hamburger, but I'll never know. I was hanging out at one of the local outdoor venues listening to music, and I ordered a beer. The iconic, everybody drinks it, Budweiser Light in that blue metal bottle. I was shocked when they charged me just $2 for that little beauty. The exact same beer is $8 just down the street. Here's a little tip. The only way to combat ridiculously high prices is to not pay them. Just don't buy things that are overpriced, and sooner or later, they'll either lower the price or go out of business. The problem is that so many people have more money than common sense. A word about your servers. They are wonderful human beings who are trying to make a living doing a difficult job with speed, skill, and a good attitude. They count on tips as a part of their income. If you want to enjoy good service whenever you dine out, you have to support the culture of servers when it's time to add the tip. 20% is about right if you had good service. And even if there were some hiccups, please remember, it isn't always the server's fault when things go awry. Don't punish them for bad management. Restaurant managers are super stressed, tough economic times, trying to make ends meet. Often there aren't enough good workers available, but dinner must go on, so remember, sometimes things do get a little hectic back there. But eating out is still fun and good. Highly recommend. If everything costs more, doesn't that just mean our money is worth less? Where's that pesky economist when I really need him? Everybody has some sort of entertainment budget. What do you spend your money on? A stiff check at the end of a good dining out experience is really just a wise, small investment in a healthy, viable restaurant economy that serves and nurtures us all. More drinks, more appetizers.
Hello, my name is Nina Kuhlman, nurse practitioner with IU Health here in Nashville.
And I am Brittany Lee, a certified medical assistant and health coach here at IU Health in Nashville.
We are here today to talk about alpha-gal syndrome, as it is a serious and potentially life-threatening allergic condition. It's also known as alpha-gal allergy, red meat allergy, or tick bite meat allergy. We came across this with the help of Brittany, who has a personal story about this. We had been testing only a few people before the incident, but I'm going to let Brittany tell you a little bit about her personal story.
The reason why I'm so passionate about alpha-gal is because my husband was diagnosed 2.5 years ago by Nina. Before being diagnosed, we have 4 runs to the emergency room where it was unknown why he was having anaphylaxis, which is where your throat closes up. He was having low blood pressure, fainting spells. He was having gastrointestinal problems. And so finally, we talked to Nina. Nina tested him, and we found out he had alpha-gal. We were referred to a GI specialist, which is gastro, and an allergist. And they gave me the same handouts. They told me the same things, made us more confused. So I sought out information, I researched, and I did not want anybody else to be as confused or upset like we were. So Nina jumped on board with me. And so here we are today, making it better for our community.
So alpha-gal is an actual sugar molecule that's found in most mammals. That includes beef, pork, rabbit, lamb, and venison. It's also found in any byproducts, so cow's milk, cheeses, any dairy products, cottage cheese. And some medications actually are made with these mammalian byproducts. So you can react to any of those. And the alpha-gal is the most common food allergen, and it's growing. However, only about 78% of providers are aware of this, and only 5% are comfortable talking about it or diagnosing it. Symptoms usually occur after the people eat red meat and are exposed to mammalian products containing alpha-gal after they have been infected by the Lone Star tick that carries the alpha-gal allergen. That sugar molecule is deposited into your system, your antibodies fight against it, and then when the new allergen is put back in your system, it fights against it, causing the reactions. The Lone Star tick, it can be carried by the male or the female. The female is the only one that has the white star on its back. Symptoms that can include gastrointestinal distress, such as nausea, vomiting, heartburn, indigestion, diarrhea, constipation, bloating, excess gas, and severe abdominal pain. They can occur with or without anaphylaxis symptoms, such as trouble breathing, drop in blood pressure, dizziness, fainting, and/or swelling of the lips, eyes, tongue, or throat. Symptoms usually appear 2 to 6 hours after ingestion or contact with the source.
And most importantly, alpha-gal is not curable. Your levels can go down and go to zero only if you abstain from the mammalian products. Treatments involving alpha-gal, avoidance of these mammalian meats and byproducts, meeting with your primary care provider and reviewing your medications is very important to make sure none of them are containing any of the mammalian byproducts, such as capsules or inactive compounds. And we ask for you to ask your primary care provider to get an EpiPen just in case you have anaphylaxis reactions. Be prepared to notify any of your new providers, dentist, surgeon, and pharmacist to avoid accidental exposure. When having surgery involving any type of mesh products, gut sutures, cardiovascular devices, and valve replacements, to avoid complications as these products are typically made with porcine or pig products. And also you can consider acupuncture or SAT treatment. Prevention is the key, and not being exposed to ticks. It's recommended to treat clothing and gear with permethrin sprays. Sawyer's brand is recommended. Please use insect repellent with picardium ingredient on the skin. Avoid grassy, bushy, and wooded areas where ticks may be found. If you're going to be in these areas, dress with long sleeves, pants tucked into your socks, and head covering. Check your clothing for ticks and wash them immediately after being outside. Permethrin spray will last several washes on your clothing. Examine your gear and check your pets, and shower and perform tick check as you come in.
If you are having symptoms as listed above, see your primary care provider and ask for an alpha-gal allergen test for diagnosis. If you do not have a primary care provider, you're more than welcome to call the IU Health facility at 812-988-2231 to be set up for an appointment and possible testing. Again, I am Nina Kuhlman, nurse practitioner at IU Health in Nashville.
And I am Brittany Lee, certified medical assistant and health coach with IU Health in Nashville.
A June wedding in Brown County. I thought I'd explain why an ironing board and iron got thrown more than a football even before it was donated to my Aunt Hula Bell's yard sale. You see, last year I went to Carrie's wedding at her mother's backyard. It was June and flowers were growing everywhere. They set out tables for cake and punch, barbecued chicken and pitch-ins, and presents. Folks brought chairs and musical instruments, logs were set for a bonfire, and a pony keg of beer stood ready. It was a simple Brown County wedding on a perfect Saturday afternoon. Carrie looked beautiful in her aunt's old wedding dress, made down to fit, and she carried peonies for her bouquet, right from the yard. The wedding party wore sundresses and jeans. Family took months and months and mulls of pictures. It was a wonderful day, but it became very more memorable when it was time to open presents. They got the usual microwave, toaster oven, towels, and bed linens. Her grandma, who lived through the Depression, gave Carrie a stack of rags, clean and cut from whatever cotton material she saved. Likely she took hours to cut those various sizes, each for different needs. She told Carrie rags were something no one ever thought to give a bride, and they were a useful gift, great for window cleaning, dog drying, and car washing. Carrie loved the idea and gave her grandma a huge hug. Finally, she was down to the last two presents, a real long box that propped up against the table and a small one nearby. She had to heft that big one up and lay it flat to open. It didn't have a name on it, so she had no idea where it came from, and nobody claimed it. Her new husband handed her his pocket knife to cut the cardboard and helped her get it out. It was a good thing he closed the blade and put it back into his pocket, because that box contained an old-fashioned wooden ironing board. Now, Carrie's known to have a quick temper, and she boiled hot over that gift. "Who in tarnation gave me this darn ironing board?" she yelled as she tossed that thing into the yard like she was slinging a tire. "I never iron clothes in my life 'cause there's permanent press, and I don't intend to. There better not be an iron in that last box." Sure enough, when she ripped it open, there sat an old iron, the type you had to heat up in a fireplace. "Not even a new steam iron. I'm not an old-fashioned wife, and the only thing I'd use this for is to knock somebody out." She slung it like an Olympic disc thrower. It nose-dived right into the 3-bean salad and coleslaw. The bowls flipped up and crashed upside down in the barbecue chicken, dumping the iron in too. She glared at each female with fire in her eyes and smoke snorting from her nostrils. "I'm not ironing sheets or my man's shorts and underwear, so who thinks I should be? Who's hinting I'm lazy and I won't make a good wife?" Carrie's hands balled into fists, just daring anyone to speak up. Her mother-in-law said, "Those old things aren't much good for anything. I could get you some new ones if you want." Carrie let out a primordial scream, and her husband approached her cautiously. "You wanted something to hold wet wallpaper while it was getting ready to hang," he said. "That old board would fit the bill, and that iron could weigh it down. Sure can't hurt the dang thing." She looked at him, then back at the 2 gifts, and calmed down. "I guess you're right," she said with a smile just for him. Then she growled, "I still want to know who brought those things." And everybody heard a small squeak from her maid of honor. "I gave them to you," she gulped. "I thought it would make an unusual table for behind your couch and the old iron for a doorstop. They were extra gifts. You said you wanted an old-style country home with some antiques. I didn't mean for you to iron with them." Carrie looked at her best friend, and through clenched teeth hidden behind an embarrassed smile, "I did tell you that, didn't I? Thank you. What a great idea. They'll fit right in. Well, everybody, let's eat." She whispered to her husband as the folks lined up, "I'm getting rid of that ironing board real quick." Keeping a sharp eye on Carrie, the nervous guests said the bean salad and coleslaw slopped in the chicken taste just fine as they choked down the mess. Washing it down with cold beer helped. They left the iron in the food for fear she'd start up again.
It's funny that I miss it more but still cry, 'cause you've done this all before. Talking in circles, does this ever go anywhere? Why am I the only one that cares? I won't follow you, I'll watch flourish while they all rot. What is life without the thought that everything is gonna change? Willow waves dancing in your breeze. She smiles with her eyes, hit what lies beneath. Taken by your words, I took a step back, found myself forgotten, lost in the past. Don't know how much longer I can last. Ran away from you again, fearing your game of pretend, but I found you can't outrun time. And when you catch up, I will fall into your arms, 'cause after all, I'm no longer yours and you're not mine. I won't follow you, I'll watch. Can't love someone you almost forgot. I guess the lesson had to be taught. Just wish it wasn't taught to me. Willow waves dancing in your breeze. She smiles with her eyes, hit what lies beneath. taken by your words. I took a step back, found myself forgotten, lost in the past. Don't know how much longer I can last, patiently waiting, searching and changing. 'Cause you lit the fire and let it all burn down. Don't tell me you hate her, then treat me the same way. Speak the words you spoke when no one was around, the ones we chose to hide beneath the ground of the weeping willow. The weeping willow.
Now we pause for station identification.
You are listening to the Brown County Hour on volunteer-powered community radio, WFHB, at 100.7 in Brown County, 91.3 and 98.1 in Bloomington, 106.3 in Ellettsville, and online at wfhb.org.
Support for WFHB comes from the Brown County Inn, located just off the main street of Nashville, Indiana, at 51 State Road 46 East. Brown County Inn is also a restaurant, bar, and gathering place for visitors and locals alike. More information at browncountyinn.com.
Our final segment begins with Jim Eagleman educating us on the wren, a regular on the Brown County bird scene, especially the Carolina wren. Debbie Kelly from the Brown County Weekend Backpacks Nutrition Program invites your kids to a free Touch a Truck event on June 28 at the Brown County Music Center. Dave Seastrom redefines what it means to be hip, and we close the show with the Sage Malaya song, The Gold.
The other day I found a casualty. A Carolina wren was dead in a mouse trap I had set in the garage for mice. They were coming in now as they have all winter. As I know from my friends, they have the same problem. Any spilled sunflower seed on the floor, a warm place to survive, maybe a pet's water bowl, have created the ideal habitat for mice, not wrens. Still, as an investigative and curious as the Carolina wren is, it didn't surprise me to see it in the trap. Peanut butter for mouse traps is just as enticing to birds, I see. I had several wrens fly in and out of the garage open all spring. Somehow a few grocery bags hanging on an inside wall attracted them, and I once found nesting material inside the bag. I also found moss and twigs from another suspected attempt at nesting tucked into the rungs of a ladder hung on the outside. And just yesterday, while uncovering the log splitter to work, yep, there it was, another nest, or the beginnings of one, leaves and grasses tucked into the controls, under the tarp, but no eggs. The Carolina is a bold and aggressive wren that we have here in the Midwest. It's also the largest of the wren family, the Troglodytidae. Along with the Carolina, also found here is the house wren, the winter, the Bewick's wren, the sedge, and the marsh wren. The cactus and canyon and rock wrens are found out west. The 9 species and 7 genera are mostly small, brown, and active birds that secretly creep through vegetation, foraging for insects and fruit, often with their tails straight raised up over their backs. Around our place, we've had Carolina's nest and hanging plants, bluebird boxes, garden pots that indicate human activity does not deter them, that they can actually bring off broods as we come and go all day long is certainly a testament to their never-fear behavior. For as shy and retreating as other birds are, like the timid bluebird and the gnatcatcher, the Carolina wren makes up for it by living close to human activities and noise. And as a bonus, we can hear their sweet triplet call all summer long. Some describe it as the bumpity-bumpity-bumpity call, or Canada, Canada, Canada. I've read where some bird lovers suggest a maintenance ritual of cleaning out birdhouses each fall. I try to do this each successful nesting of bluebirds and wrens on our property, but leave all the debris in the box for the last attempt, about late summer. This is useful insulation, I read, should bluebirds and wrens attempt to spend the night in the box when temperatures drop below freezing. I've seen pictures of maybe 5 or 6 bluebirds and wrens all crammed into a nest box, tail feathers to tail feathers, their communal heat helpful to the entire cluster. And when I do clean out any nesting box, it's always an opportunity to see what materials birds use to build nests. A University of Wisconsin professor studied nesting materials in 52 house wren nests. Interested in learning how the house wren can adapt to man's changing environment, he used 3-quart tin cans for nest boxes. You may wonder what avian researchers and professors study and how it helps us understand animal behavior. The study advanced our knowledge of the house wren, a very adaptable species, and an important and beneficial bird to have in our gardens. The male, he found, is the first one to build the nest in 2 stages. The first one is a bulky mass of twigs in a nest depression in the rear of the box. Honeysuckle, black cherry, and oak twigs headed up the list of 36 plant species used in male nests. Males that found mates early in the season built smaller nests than males that did not mate earlier in the year. The second stage, lining of the nest cavity prior to egg laying, is done by only the female. Feathers representing 25 different bird species, grass, spider, egg sacs, pine needles, horsehair, skin fragments from snakes, and other small plant parts were often used for the lining. You wonder where feathers from birds disappear to? They can be used in other birds' nests. Occasionally, cellophane cigar wrappers, twine, and bits of transparent plastic is found in the lining. The Carolina wren is a nest builder that covers the nest with a twiggy dome. It can be built on the ground, above the ground, and in nest boxes. Small hole in the side of the nest allows the female to come and go while having a protective and camouflage cover. What was surprising to the researcher was how well the house wren appears well adapted to man's changing environment. He said, quote, "If cigar wrappers can replace snakeskins, twine can replace horsehair, and metal cans can replace wooden nest boxes, we need not fear for the survival of the lowly house wren and all her family mates in man's changing synthetic environment." That's a bit of encouraging news from the world of birdwatchers and biologists. Good to hear. This is Jim Eagleman reporting for Nature Ramblings, the Brown County Hour, WFHB Radio. Thanks for listening.
Hi, this is Debbie Kelly, and I am with Brown County Weekend Backpacks. And we have an important event coming up on June 28th. It is our Brown County Touch-A-Truck event. It'll be at the Music Center parking lot in Nashville, Indiana. It starts at 10 o'clock and will be done at 1. We do have a quiet hour from 10 to 11 a.m., and that means no horns or sirens. So anyone that is sensitive to loud noises, that's the hour that you want to go. We'll have over 50 vehicles, and all the kids and parents and grandparents can see, touch, and explore all of those vehicles and learn what they do and how they do it. For more information, go to browncountytouchatruck.com. Now, this Touch-A-Truck is not like your typical Touch-A-Truck. First of all, did I mention that it's free? It is hosted by Brown County Weekend Backpacks, which is a 501c3. It is a fundraiser, but the way that we make our money is through sponsors. Our co-presenting sponsors are Duke Energy and SCI REMC, and we could not do this event without their support. But we want all kids to be able to come, and so we have made the event free. Also, any kid that comes will get a free fireman hat or construction hat. They will get a free ice cream from Culver's. Nashville Fire Department sets up a splash area so you can cool off in the heat. Brown County pollinators will be there giving away hundreds of free native plants. And Roseacre Farms is doing something really special. Last year, they gave away a dozen kids' bicycles in a raffle, and that happens at noon. This year, we're targeting 30 bikes to be given away. You do have to register in advance, and then you have to be present to win. And if that's not enough, 2 Indianapolis Colts cheerleaders will be there for pictures, sign autographs, and to pick the bicycle winners. You don't see that every day at a Touch a Truck event. So I do hope that we'll see you on June 28th, starting at 10 a.m.
The 27th of May is the 5th anniversary of my hip replacement, and I've been thinking about medical advances and how all of our lives have benefited from scientific research. My hip disorder was first diagnosed when I was 5 years old. I was walking across the stage to accept my diploma from Miss Cook's kindergarten, and my right hip dislocated, causing me to fall flat on my face. This event caused several trips to the doctor, followed by weeks of confinement in bed. Summer had just begun, and all I could think about was running, climbing trees, and playing with my friends. The diagnosis was leg calf perthes. This is caused when the blood flow to the developing cartilage at the head of the femur in my right hip was restricted, and instead of having a spherical hip joint, mine was flat and shaped like a disc. All I had to do was twist to the side and my hip would pop out of the socket. The treatment involved completely keeping my weight off that leg with crutches or wearing a brace that was essentially a shock absorber. Because the brace made one leg taller, I had to wear a 4-inch heel on my other foot to compensate for the height difference. The brace made a squeaking sound as the springs flexed, and the 4-inch heel made a distinctive clopping sound as I walked. You could hear me coming by the squeak-clomp sound of my approach. I spent the first 3 years of grade school squeaking and clomping, but eventually my cartilage was healed and I was released from bondage. The treatment is no longer in practice, and today this malady is treated with physical therapy that mostly involves swimming. I was warned at the time of my release that I could face crippling arthritis as an older adult, and that turned out to be true. The hip held up pretty well until I was in my 60s, and then the arthritis reared its ugly head and walking became painful. At first, I was offered pain meds, muscle relaxers, and steroids. I've never liked pain meds, so I refused them. Steroids offered temporary relief, but the more I read into the side effects, the more I came to realize that they're just a Band-Aid with downside consequences. Finally, it was time for a new plan. The IU Health Network kept offering me more of the same, so I decided to ask around. A few members of my family and a couple of close friends had good results at St. Francis in Mooresville, so I called and made an appointment. The first thing they did was order an MRI that definitively showed that I qualified for a new hip. This took place in early March of 2020, and just as my procedure was given the green light, the entire country was shut down due to COVID. Hospitals were restricted to emergency care only, so I called St. Francis and I asked them to put me on the list. I got a call 2 months later in early May, and they scheduled the surgery for May 27th. I had one preliminary visit before the big event where I was shown the prosthesis and given a list of do's and don'ts. The night before the procedure, the surgeon called and asked if I was ready. When I said yes, he said he'd see me in surgery the next morning. We arrived at the hospital before dawn. Becky gave me a big good luck kiss, and they wheeled me off to the surgical suite. Before I could even look around, the anesthesiologist made sure I was unconscious. The procedure took just this side of 50 minutes, and when I awoke in recovery, it actually took longer to put the compression hose on than it took to replace my hip. We were given a folder full of post-op information, and I was released as an outpatient. By this time, I was getting hungry, and we stopped at a mom-and-pop drive-in restaurant where we sat in the parking lot while I ate a foot-long coney dog with everything. I have to tell you, that was the best damn coney dog I ever ate. When we got home, my son and his family were there to help me get situated, and then I read that I should restrict my diet to mild foods for a few days. I sure am glad I didn't read that before we stopped for lunch. I started physical therapy the first week, and 4 weeks later, I was released, completely healed. The chronic pain was gone, and for the first time in years, I could walk without discomfort. The words, "better living through science," come to mind, and in my case, it couldn't have been any better. This is Dave Seastrom. See you next time.
can change you. You don't have to hold me anymore. Our cave's collapsing. I don't wanna be me anymore. My old man told me, you don't open your eyes for a while. You just breathe that moment out. 40 miles out of East Illinois from my old man's heart attack. I believed you were crazy. You believe you love me. I don't wanna bark here anymore. Black Hills, the collie, wasn't really dangerous for us. We just catch you coughing. What the hell are we gonna do? The surface, I don't wanna be here anymore. It all tastes like poison. You don't open your eyes for a while. You just breathe that moment down. You don't open your eyes for a while. You just breathe. I believed you were crazy. You believed you loved me. You and me, we're a daydream. So lose your faith.
Thanks for tuning in to episode 159 of the Brown County Hour. This show was recorded in our studio at the History Center here in downtown Nashville and brought to you the first Sunday of every month at 9 a.m. and the following Wednesday at 6 p.m. and anytime online. Be sure to look for us on your favorite streaming services.
The Brown County Hour is brought to you by a diverse group of folks who believe, now more than ever, the world is for everyone.
This show was produced by
Chuck Wills,
Pam Rader,
Rick Fettig,
Vera Grubbs,
Lucy Schultz,
Sarah Lytle,
Chad Carruthers,
and Dave Seastrom. We would also like to thank Slats Klug for our theme music. You have been listening to the Brown County Hour.
coming to you from deep in the woods of Brown County, Indiana.
Celebrating the arts, culture, and nature that make this such a unique community.
Visit us online at browncountyhour.com.
The Brown County Hour is a production of WFHB.
Volunteer-powered, listener-supported community radio for South Central Indiana.
Take me back to my home, Brown County home.